Hey gun people, we're going to talk about freedom and flags and what these flags are. I got some questions on these different flags and what do they mean. Gonzalez flag, big roots in Texas. Don't tread on me, the Gadsden flag, and Molon Labe flag. So we're going to discuss some history here, and we're going to start out with the don't tread on me in the middle there. And where this came from was back in the 1700s. Benjamin Franklin, I want to say, I made a note here, where was it? 1775. Ben Franklin was a supporter, turn this, sorry about that. Ben Franklin was a supporter of the, I guess you can kind of see me, as long as you see the flags up there. So Ben Franklin supported that don't tread on me flag, and our Gadsden flag was the one that made the don't tread on me, but the snake, Ben Franklin did an article on the snake, on why the snake would be a good representation of America. Now I know people are going to probably think, oh no, that's, the religious people are going to be like, oh my God, that's the devil, that's the serpent, you can't do that. But the reason, Ben Franklin's reason behind that was he described the snake as an animal that had no eyelids, so it was ever vigilant. It was always looking. It would always see. So it never shut its eyes. It also warned before it attacked. It would not attack you without warning to let you know. And when it did attack, it only left small wounds, but they were fierce and they would kill you. So Franklin was a fan of the snake and what it represented. And where was it? Let's see. It would be an emblem of vigilance. She never begins an attack, nor once engaged will it ever surrender. She is a good emblem of true courage. And this is an article he did in a paper years ago. If it gets anxious or pretentious and quarreling with her, the weapons of which the nature is furnished, she conceals in the roof of her mouth. So she doesn't show her weapons and doesn't look mean, but she hides her weapons in her mouth, but she can pull them out and use them. She appears to be the most defenseless animal, even though the weapons are not shown or and only extended during her defense. She's not the aggressor. She may appear weak, but their wounds, however, are small, decisive, and fatal. Conscious of that, she never wounds without giving notice to her enemy, and she cautions them against using, or she cautioned against the danger of stepping on her. So am I wrong for thinking the strong picture of the temper and conduct of America? So Franklin was a fan of the snake, and they made the snake because Gadsden, I think, was an army general. I forgot where, let's see where I put that. Let's see. Don't tread on me. The name of the flag of American General Christopher Gadsden in 1724 to 1805. And it was designed for the American Revolution. So that's where the flag, don't tread on me, don't mess with me, comes from. So when you see that, it's kind of a don't tread on me, also kind of a warning to big government, because we were breaking away from Britain and the UK and all of the Britain Empire as far as taxes and wanting to keep us under their control. And so that's where don't tread on me comes from. The flag to the right there, known as the Gonzalez flag, normally there's a cannon on there. And what happened is, I think it was in like 1836, let me check my note here to make sure I'm not giving the wrong date. Someone will be like, that's not right, 1835. And at the bottom of that flag it says, come and take it. Now again, that one's been modified a little bit to put an M16 because the government's talking about banning them, etc. But come and take it. If you imagine a cannon there with a star on top. And what happened is when Mexico, back in 1800s, 1835-ish, they gave Gonzalez, the town of Gonzalez, a cannon, and it was a small cannon. It wasn't really, but it was helped them to defend because they didn't have the Mexican who kind of still had control, and we were still kind of part of Mexico, maybe not. You know, Mexican still had like territorial rule over some of the counties over there before Texas was a state. So, and they gave them this cannon, and then at one point they asked for the cannon back because in Texas, good old Texas, gotta love it, they had started a militia because they didn't want government getting in their business and not being able to defend themselves. So they started having their own militia and army of people. Well, the Mexican government took this as a threat and said, you know what? We need to go get our cannon back. So they went back to get their cannon back, and the people of Texas says, you can't have it. And so there was a fight and a skirmish, and then they kind of talked, and basically the final response from Gonzalez was, from the city, the township of Gonzalez was, if you want it, come and take it. And that was a warning, saying if you come and take it, we're going to have something waiting for your ass. And that's why that flag has always been kind of like a show of the people against the government, a people against a superior force, standing up for your right to be free. So that flag is a very much, especially in Texas, but anywhere in the country, a status of freedom and standing up for what you believe in, and not letting a tyrannical government or a strong government or a government come in and tell you, you will yield to our power. No, we won't. If you want the cannon, come and take it. So then that moves us to a couple thousand years earlier in the Molon Labe. If you see it written, that's written kind of in that flag there, back for the Spartans in Greece. They were fighting the Persian army. Now the Persian, a lot of people, you hear Persian army when they were huge and they ruled. A lot of people don't want to admit or acknowledge that the Persian, when they were overtaking countries and running around killing everybody, they were Muslims. Rick, Muslims are peaceful. Yeah, I know. That's what the liberals tell us. It's a peaceful religion. But they're all about conquering. So they were trying to conquer Greece, and they kept coming over. So I want to say in, where was it? 490 BC, the Battle of Marathon. So there was two actual battles where that flag comes into play. In the Battle of Marathon, where they came in and they tried to take over this city, the Persians brought their people in and they were defeated. And I want to say that they lost, how much did they lose in the Battle of Marathon? Let's see, 10,000. The Persian fleet, 30,000 soldiers to meet a force of 10,000 Greeks. So they had them 3-1 in the Battle of Marathon. And the Greeks won. And if you've seen the movie 300 or you know about the Spartans, there was the Battle of Thermopylae. I'm probably saying it wrong, I never pronounced it right. But that was also in Greece. That was more up northeast of where Marathon was. And Marathon, if you know what a marathon is, it's a 26-mile run. And it came from this Battle of Marathon. So what happened when the Persians came in and they tried to take over, they were defeated and they left. But when they left, they thought they were going to go around the sea and attack Athens, which was 26 miles away from Marathon. So one of the messengers ran from Marathon all the way to Athens, 26 miles, and warned them and told the news that we won and we beat, because they were making plans on, further plans. Well, this guy ran 26 miles to tell them that. How long's a marathon? 26 miles. Hey, that's amazing. Little history there. Marathon comes from that run. After that battle, they actually started having a marathon event in the Olympics because of this messenger running 26 miles from Marathon to Athens, and they call it a marathon now. So that was the first battle that kind of led up to, if you see the movie 300, where what was Leonidas in charge of the Spartans? This is Sparta! And he kicks a dude into the well, which really happened. They threw him into the well. But anyway, if you look back at history, that battle they call it the 300 because there was only 300 Spartans. And of course, in the first battle of Marathon, I forgot, Spartan didn't help Greece because they were in the middle of a religious holiday, good old religion. So they didn't go and help Greece. So they thought Greece was going to lose the war, but they didn't want to leave their religious festival that they were in. After the festival was over, they started heading to Marathon to help, but the battle was over. So fast forward 10 more years, 480 BC, I think. Now the son of the Persian army guy who attacked him the first time, remember, when you kill a king, you always kill his children. Because if you don't, when they get older, they're going to come back and revenge their dad. And that's just been a law of war forever. People go, oh, it's cruel, the child did. Rick, you should hug the child, and Rick, whatever, a bunch of freaking liberals. Anyway, so the son came back 10 years later, and that's when the Battle of Thermopylae with Leonidas and the Spartans in the Battle of 300. Now, when that happened, there was actually more than 300 because they had collected a bunch of people as they went there, and people helped fight, and I think there might have been 1,000, but they were against a huge force. And I had some numbers here. The Greeks killed 64,000 Persians that day when they fled away. So, or 6,400 Persians. So they killed, in the Battle of Marathon, I jumped back, sorry I'm jumping around, but I meant to get this out. In the Battle of Marathon, they killed 6,400 Persians before they left. Now 6,400 people is a lot of people. And back then when you weren't fighting with weapons and missiles and all that, that's a lot of close-in killing. 6,400 people. But just to put that in perspective of wars, in Vietnam, we lost 58,000. So in the Battle of Marathon, they killed 6,400 Persians. In the Vietnam War, just the U.S. troops loss was 58,000. Vietnamese loss, how many people were killed? 3.5 million. So, you know, we went over there, we lost 58,000, that sounds like a lot of people, but when you say they lost 3.5 million, that's a lot of killing. So we did a lot of killing for our 58,000. Now I'm not going to go into the disputes of Vietnam War right now, but to give you a little bit other kind of things on numbers in wars, in World War II, the U.S. lost, how many troops you thought we lost in World War II? Anybody know? Give you a second to kind of think it out. About 419,000. Considerable lot of people. You know how many people were killed in World War II worldwide? Close to 80 million people killed in that war. They say that was a big ass war. Let me tell you, a lot of people died in that. Almost 80 million. Some of the big losers, we lost 419,000. Japan lost 2.5 to 3 million people in that war. A lot by us. Poland lost 6 million people. Germany lost 7 million people. Russia, which was the Soviet Union back then, lost 27 million people. And China lost between 15 and 20 million people. So, now those are not just specifically war injuries. Those are feast, famine, all deaths caused by the war. That's a lot of dead people. So, now I'm going back from, I just want to put the numbers in perspective on the Battle of Marathon. So now I'm back to the Battle of Thermopylae with Leonidas and the 300 Spartans. So the 300 Spartans held their ground and held off, and what they did is they made a fatal funnel that I talk about in other videos. They basically got these guys in where they had two mountains on the side, so they can only approach one way. So your numbers were changed. They had all these people, and if they were out in the open, they could have mobbed them and killed them pretty quick. But because they got them in this fatal funnel, all these people could only come this way, and they could kill them and stack up, and they couldn't push through. So that was a great battle. Everybody died in 300. They all got killed. But before the battle started, the king, Leonidas, or Zeus, I can't think of the king's name, the son of the guy that, you know, the father attacked in the Battle of Marathon, his son attacked in the Battle of Thermopylae. So he came back and he sent a message to King, was it Leonidas? Yeah. And said, hey, or not king, the guy in charge of the Spartan army, and said, look, we don't want to fight. Okay? So we're going to give you more land than you have. If you leave now, we'll give you more land and everything. We're going to, you know, it's kind of like government. At the end of the year, they're giving you a little bit of money back. They steal from you all year. Every time you pay $1, they take so much money. Every time you pay taxes, every time you buy something, government takes money from you all year. When you earn money, they take it right off the top of your check before you ever see it. The government steals your money all year. And come January, you got idiots running around going, oh, look at my return. I'm going to go get something nice. Look what the government gave me. I got money from the government. I got a return. They stole from you all year, you big dummy. They only gave you back percentage. Let me come to your house and steal $100 a day, and every January I'll give you $50. How about that? So the logic there was the king's son says, hey, we'll give you, the government coming in, first we're going to take everything from you, and now we're going to give you something back, but we haven't taken it yet. So they said, look, we'll give you more land and riches if you don't fight us and just surrender to our power and say you'll help us and you become part of us. And then, of course, the government would start taking everything and overrun them. Well, Leonidas wasn't a dummy. He was a warrior, and his response was no. So he said, lay down your weapons, last chance, or the war's on. And Leonidas' response was, come and take them. If you want them, come and get them. So there's a controversy on whether it's come and take them or come and get them, but it was the same logic, and that's where Molon Labe comes from. That means interpreted, come and get them. You want my weapons? Come and get them. And that better be the battle cry when the government starts trying to take our guns. It ought to be already there, but we're not. That's a different topic. So anyway, those are the 3 flags. I made some notes to make sure I covered all my notes. Xerxes was the son of the other one that gave Leonidas a thing. That was in 480 BC. And the Greek army was 6,000 to 7,000, led by the Spartan king Leonidas. And that was the Battle of 300. So those are the history of those 3 flags. Again, on the come and take it on the Gonzalez flag, I kind of left out the main part on that one. When they chased the Mexican army, when our Mexican army came in, they go, hey, come and take it. You want the cannon, come and take it. They kind of got their militia together, they got other people together, they attacked them and they ran. Well, when they ran, the Texans, hoo-yah, you go boy, Texas, they chased their ass down and they followed them and chased them pretty far. Well, at one point they kind of had a standoff at night, fog rolled in and they were kind of fighting, so they couldn't see, but in the morning, what they had done is they had a white cloth that they made into a flag. So on this white flag, which normally means surrender, they painted a cannon right where that M16 is. And they put a cannon on that flag. And that's where that flag originated from, was a white flag with a cannon. And they said, come and take it. And then the star was added later. When Texas became a Lone Star state, I think they added the star on top of the cannon because it was Texas. And that led to the Texas Revolution. And the U.S. was still relatively young then. We sent troops. We ended up pushing, and that was kind of a battle cry. Come and take it. Texas Revolution, Battle of Gonzalez. Everybody knew about it. And, you know, when you grew up in Texas, you were taught about it. And when I was a kid, probably now they don't teach it because they think it's terrorists, and we don't want to make kids think that you can fight the government and win. Oh, my God, that would be a crime. So anyway, I had this hat, and I was going to change hats. Basically a little sign, you'll see the little mask, that's a Spartan mask, and you'll see the Molon Labe on it, and then you'll also see the coiled up rattlesnake, don't tread on me. So now you know what those means. Got a lot of questions about those. Hopefully that answers them. We'll end that there.